get you on the flip side. Maybe we can be friends when you're not so fragile. When you know yourself well, somewhere down the sweet line. When I do things for me, 'cause I don't wanna be a therapy, I wanna be free. So, ooh, gotta go and grab a spoon now. Ooh, make a life for myself. Ooh, I don't know what I'ma do now. Ooh, but I don't need your help. Get out of my way, my way. I'm moving on up. Don't make me just stay, do stay. I'm done being stuck. Get out of my way, my way. I'm moving on up. The last thing I will ever do for you is wish you the best of luck. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, I know, you know, it's time you let me go. Don't call, don't follow, 'cause I'll do it fine on my own. I know, you know, it's time I let you go. Don't call, don't follow, 'cause I'll be gone. Get out of my way, my way. I'm moving on up. Don't make me just stay, do stay. I'm done being stuck. Get out of my way, my way. I'm moving on up. The last thing I will ever do for you is wish you the best of luck. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Get out of my way, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Get out of my way.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone today? Happy Saturday. Can you believe it's December? Countdown to Christmas. How's everybody feeling? Have you done your Christmas shopping yet? Are you one of those people that leaves it last minute? FYI, I'm not actually in London at the moment. I went for a weekend trip. I'm not going to tell you where I am for safety reasons, obviously. But I will let you know when I've left, and this has got to be one of the coolest B&Bs I've ever stayed in, and I'm doing something pretty cool tomorrow morning. I've like taken an 8-hour coach ride just to get here. So pray for your girl because I'm doing something pretty interesting tomorrow. But for today, lots to talk about. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. I did finally watch the last episode of The Crown. Finally. And yeah, still not impressed. The last episode didn't impress me. I thought the guy that they picked to play Tony Blair, I wasn't sure that was a really good pick. And yeah, ultimately, having finally seen the whole thing, I am still of the opinion that it was quite a bait and switch. There was so much that was left out that I don't even think this season should even be taken seriously. But welcome to the chat, everyone. Oh, Noreen Bengali, nice to see you. Yes, Rahini, we're here on time. We are actually here on time, finally. It's a miracle. We'll get back to being on time and getting herself back together again. I promise. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Kim. Elaine's here. Miss P's here. Ian's here. V Thomas is here. Ruth C. You said, I enjoy the music. What is it called? Enjoy Friday's podcast. Oh, what is it called? It is okay, do you know what? I will post what it's called as a comment after the podcast. I'll put it in the comment section because I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that you can download it. It's an Epidemic sound song. Himi fan, very weak cast this season, very strange direction too. Yeah, you know, where it was good, I thought it was good, to give it credit, but it lacked in so many other places that it just wasn't there for me. Mina, I haven't even watched season 5 of The Crown. Well, you're not missing much. You're not really missing much. Lane, you've already started presents for next year. Wow. You really like to be ahead. I know some people that have a box just full of presents, just ready for birthdays, Christmas, everything. All right, let's get on to today's podcast. Positive things first. Harry popped up today. Wasn't expecting this. He dressed up as Spider-Man to wish the Scottish soldiers who are children whose parents have been passed away or suffering with injuries, mental health illnesses, after being on the front line and other areas of the armed services. And he said, Christmas is a time when we miss our loved ones really, really badly, and that's okay. But at the same time, it can be possible to feel guilty for having fun without our parents. But I'm here to assure you that our parents always want us to have fun, okay? And who better to speak about losing a parent than, Harry himself, losing Diana, even though she didn't, pass away on the front line. She passed away very tragically, and he had to heal or attempt to heal in front of the whole world. So a very sweet little message for the children. How wonderful. And now we know that Harry is definitely that dad who will dress up in cool costumes for his kids. We need presents this year as a text. Well, you know what? Christmas shouldn't even be about the presents, right? It should be about spending time with each other. I actually think Secret Santa is a great idea because then everybody gets one thoughtful present instead of getting a bunch of presents, half of which you don't even like half the time. All right. Next thing. Yeah, so Harry and Meghan's documentary is most definitely going to be a global event across social media. It's tracking upwards of 15 to 20 million views across all of the Netflix international channels. So on one side you can see all of the Netflix YouTubes, so they've got different channels for different languages, the Netflix TikTok, the Netflix Instagram, and all of the Netflix Twitter pages as well. And I actually do think that this documentary series will get more viewerage and traction than the Oprah interview, only because Oprah interview was obviously, it was on CBS and then it was licensed, to different channels across the world, but Netflix just has more reach. Gail Lewis, in a way, Diana was on the front line, wasn't she? Battling that family survival. Yeah, I guess you could say that. Good way of putting it. Maureen, it was nice seeing him, especially after this last couple of days. Yeah. William and Kate home yet? Actually, no, they should stay there. Don't come home. Don't come back. Stay there. People were talking so much about The Crown that I watched only the first 2 episodes. Yeah, it was such a letdown, wasn't it? After all of that hype. All right, so yeah, that's that. So looking like we're gonna get a huge turnout for the docu-series. And as someone on Twitter said, haters will criticize it. Those who love it, those who love Harry and Meghan will love it. but everyone will be watching. And that's the point, right? Everybody, whether you like Harry and Meghan or not, especially those that don't, let's just be honest, their haters are their biggest fans. They are curious. They can't take their eyes away. This is one of the most talked about couples of our time. Right. On to the next thing. Yeah, so the British tabloids, they could have chosen to focus on Earthworm. Instead, some of them, I haven't seen all of the tabloid covers, mind you. This is just the Daily Express. The Daily Express has decided to ignore Earthworm completely and go with this headline: Harry warned inflict more pain and its point of no return. These are the same tabloids that have been inflicting pain for 5 or 6 years on Harry's wife. I don't know what pain Harry is inflicting other than protecting his family. And they're still going with this point of no return way of thinking when, honey, Harry and Meghan aren't going back. It's been what, almost 3 years? They continue to act like the crazy ex that doesn't want to get over the fact that they were dumped. Because remember, Harry and Meghan were meant to end up flipping burgers in McDonald's. And then you have Down Under over in Australia. These two, I mean, look at the looks on their faces, right? Who have consistently gone after Harry and Meghan. And I don't understand. I don't understand how we have okayed grown adults like this on what's meant to be a news channel. Just continuing to go after a couple that are doing what? Telling their truth. I mean, this isn't even news at this point. I wouldn't feel so strongly about it if they would just not call themselves news. Just say that you're like a gossip show and you just like to trash people, but please don't call yourself legitimate news. Oh dear, we've got trolls in the chat. Thank you so much, mods. Dear oh dear, you're doing the Lord's work. H&M are a goldmine for Netflix. This doc will be the main course where the Oprah interview was entered. Yeah. I still feel like there were some places where the Oprah interview was a bit weak. Like there were certain bits that weren't in the main interview, or in, I don't know if it was just some regions where certain bits weren't played. So there were clips that surfaced online afterwards, like when Meghan's talking about privacy. I think when Meghan's talking about her half sister. So I hope that this series makes up for where kind of the holes were in the Oprah interview. Mind you, there's still one whole hour of that interview on the cutting room floor, apparently, from what I heard. Oh, Twist and Trails, you're sewing quilts for your family. That is wonderful. Let's see, I wonder if they would have anything in the documentary about Thomas Markle. Well, that was a huge turning point, especially around the wedding time. And the whole thing about them wanting Meghan to go to Mexico. You want a princess of the British realm to go to Mexico at a time where she is literally the most watched woman in the world. Rebecca English tweeted something the other day. I don't know if this is true, and being that it's coming from her, I'm just going to take it as hearsay, but she is claiming that they're going to release episodes 1, 2, 3 first, and then episodes 4, 5, and 6 at a separate date. I don't know where she got that from. It's probably a lie, but there has been no confirmation as to how the 6 episodes will be rolled out. Yes, Wendy, everyone's going to be watching, including the haters. And I love that they just called the series Harry and Meghan, because we know them as that now. And at the end of the day, you know, as much as I acknowledge that there has been a clear attempt to, I guess, erase Meghan from the royal line because of her Black heritage, because of the fact that she is biracial, and also by extension her children. I do acknowledge that, and it's why I feel strongly that she has every right to use her Duchess title. But I also still think that we just need to abolish this monarchy and everything that comes with it. And that also includes, the title and this whole idea of birthright. So I see it from both sides. And I would hope that the fact that they just used their names Harry and Meghan for the title of this series perhaps signifies just a new era where they only want to be, known as Harry and Meghan. And maybe, and I have theorized this, and squaddies have yelled at me for this, but maybe they will actually give up their titles themselves. It's a theory that I still have, and I'm sticking with it. All right. Yes, V. Crazy abusive ex for sure. They can't get over it. Lorna, could someone tell me in the chat, is it true that Billie Eilish don't show up for the Earthshot concert? I don't know. There was quite a few celebrities that did show up. Yeah, and there was quite a bit of controversy about that, actually. I'll get to it later on, but let's roll on with the other news. Right. The lady at the center of this race route, Ngozi Fulani, has been attacked left, right, and center. And that is also from wannabe Candace Owens types. It's absolutely shocking how many Black people engage in anti-Blackness. Oh, you had this one right here tweeting, if I walked into the palace dressed like an extra off of the set of Black Panther, people might be curious where I'm from too. Can we just be balanced, please? Well, as we can see in the middle picture, people from different cultures and different backgrounds have some really interesting and elaborate ways of dress. Does that mean we make fun of the way that they dress? No. So to attack this lady, I mean, she was just wearing, I think, a leopard print. You can't even say that that's like traditional African attire. It was just leopard print. So to say this about this woman, this Miss Esther K, and she was ripped to shreds on Twitter, by the way. Pretty much all of the responses and retweets were telling her to sit the hell down and take several seats. And as my royalty account said, imagine if Hussey had interrogated Epstein, Maxwell, or Savile with the same persistence that she did in Ngozi Fulani. Nobody in Buckingham Palace seemed to ask any questions at all about those royal guests, exactly. But we can sit here and interrogate a woman who had actually gone there to speak about domestic violence against women. And now, she's old and from a different era excuse isn't working. That's not flying with people. So they've gone with a different angle in order to try and excuse Suzanne Hussey's behavior. And Richard Eden, yes, that Richard Eden that got hashtag Prince William affair trending, wrote this article for the Daily Mail. Now they're claiming that deafness played a part in this whole situation. Him saying, like many people her age, Lady Suzanne is rather hard of hearing. One of her friends tells me it's likely that her deafness contributed to the problems she had that day. And then she goes on to say it was a very noisy room with lots of people. I mean, they're going to come up with anything to try and excuse this now. It's become such a huge global story. There was just no way of hiding it. It went pretty viral pretty quickly. And because it involved somebody who was close to the Queen and William's godmother, even mainstream media have had to cover it. So I guess this is a last attempt in order to try and excuse her behavior. And people of different ethnic backgrounds have been tweeting pictures of themselves wearing very professional looking work clothes, suits, and ties, and talking about their experiences of still being given the line of questioning that Ngozi was. So you can be the most um you can dress in a way that they consider respectable and still be given that line of questioning. It's not about the way that you're dressed, it's about the way that they think. And I saw this on Twitter that I found hilarious. Somebody said, I'm going to start asking, and where did your unearned wealth come from? Followed by, no. Where did it really come from? Right, to your comments before we continue. Welcome to the chat, everyone. Thumbs up, please, if you're just coming in. Thank you so much, Daniel. Medical for the super sticker, much appreciated. And just so we're clear, I don't think it's necessarily rude to ask someone where they're from if you're genuinely curious. You know, when I see someone who maybe looks of a different heritage or that they're of a mixed heritage, because I'm somebody that, travels a lot. So I'm always interested to know, where people are from and about their cultures. And I'm genuinely interested. If you're from somewhere different from me, I want to know about your culture. I want to learn about who you are. But it's not because I'm trying to other you or make you feel uncomfortable. And anytime I've ever asked someone, um, and they've just given me one straight answer, I don't, press on. And that was the problem with this conversation that was had between Ngozi and Susan. It just seemed like it wasn't like, oh, I'm genuinely interested in your culture and where you're from. It was like she was trying to place her, going as far as asking, how did you come here? Just very rude. Mercedes, well, if she was deaf, then she should have stayed home. Will I go to the party where people are talking? No, I don't think she she should have had to stay home. But from that conversation, the line of questioning, it was damn near interrogating that woman. That was not a conversation that looked like she was hard of hearing. She was digging for an answer because she wasn't satisfied with the answer that Ngozi was giving her. Jasmine P. I've worked in customer service, and people who are hard of hearing usually will tell you and ASL you to speak up. Yes. B. Thomas, nonsense. Was the Queen deaf at 90 years old too? Gail Lewis, any way you cut it will try to whitewash it. Lady S showed her racism. The more they try to excuse her, the more it looks like what it is. Yes. Simply Royal, you said the press uses the word gaff a lot to excuse inappropriate behavior. Yes. Yes. Indeed. And it's not just that they're trying to excuse Susan's behavior. They're now trying to make it look like Ngozi was the one who wasn't graceful in the situation. So because she didn't accept microaggressiveness from the Susan lady, it's her that wasn't being graceful. Doris, and she has done this more than once. You cannot cover ignorance. Yes, and there are other people who are coming out and saying that they've had issues with her. I mean, apparently even Diana didn't like her. So from that alone, I think we can gather that this lady was quite problematic. Yes, Valerie. Apparently, Lady Hussey did the same to the former prosecutor Nazil Afzal. It's not much of a lady, is she? Anyway, let's move on from this story, shall we? Over to the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail is now seeking to delay court allegations of high-profile breaches of privacy. Lawyers for group including Prince Harry, Doreen Lawrence, and Elton John filed claims 2 months ago. Now, let me just actually find this article so I can read it because it was quite interesting. But yeah, they're obviously going to try and fight this at every angle. They don't want to be held responsible for what they did, because if they lose this court case, they're going up against some heavyweights, and they will lose a lot of money. Sorry, just give me a sec. Just give me a sec, folks. All right, so it says the Daily Mail has sought to delay the publication of potentially damaging court allegations about its journalism made by Prince Harry, Doreen Lawrence, Elton John, and others. Doreen Lawrence. This is the mother of Stephen Lawrence. He was the murdered black schoolboy. Lawyers acting for the group of high-profile individuals claim they have compelling and highly distressing evidence, and that they have been victims of criminal activity and gross breaches by associated newspapers for many years. It goes on to say, under the normal legal timetable, the claim should have been formally acknowledged by the Daily Mail within 14 days when they were served, automatically making the detailed allegations available for scrutiny by the public and media. However, 2 months later, the paperwork setting out the allegations against the Daily Mail and its sister titles is still not public. They're trying to hide something, folks. They're trying to hide something. Sources with knowledge of the case said this followed a legal intervention by associated newspapers, which has delayed formal acknowledgement and therefore publication of the claims. Definitely trying to hide something, folks. They're definitely trying to hide something. This is despite the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday's long record of campaigning against secret justice and transparency in the court system. Spokespeople for the Daily Mail's parent company did not respond to multiple requests for comment asking why the company had yet to acknowledge the claims. Among the allegations against Associated newspaper made by the lawyers acting for the claimants were hiring of private investigators, commissioning individuals to listen to and record people's private phone calls, payment of police officials, impersonation of individuals to obtain medical information from private hospitals. That's what they did to Sienna Miller, and also accessing of bank accounts, credit card histories, and other malicious things. So, in short, they're basically trying to delay more information about this getting out to the public. It's annoying because even when this does get made public, they are the media. So they're not going to report on their own misdemeanors. And my worry about this is that it's like they're basically going to black out the story because they are the story. So thank goodness we are in a social media age where we can share these stories and talk about them on other platforms. Otherwise, the story, despite the magnitude of all of this, I mean, you heard the claims against them, it would just get ignored. Lauren Brown, you said there is always the expectation for people of color to make space for their attackers to feel uncomfortable as the victims are spent. Exactly. You said it right, exactly, Lauren. Wendy, the firm knows this is trouble and they're trying to drag the good woman's name. Yeah, it's sad because she does amazing work, and now she's been put in the middle of the storm. Goodness me, I could have never have imagined of all the things that were gonna happen around Kate and Williams' tour. And mind you, this tour was delayed. So it's like some weird divine timing that it ends up being delayed, and then this happens. All right. Um, on to the next thing. Right, Earthshot. Earthshot happened, and yeah, people were having fun with the green screen. People were having fun with the green screen. Oh, sorry, just got taken off the screen there for a second. I don't hate this dress. It just looks a bit weird that it's so green on the green carpet. She's wearing Diana's necklace, by the way. It would appear that now that Angela Kelly has been fired, Kate has ample access to the royal jewels. Pretty much straight after the Queen passed away, she raided the jewelry box and she was wearing Lizzie's jewelry throughout the entire 11 days of mourning. They did get to meet John Kerry in the end, and also Carolyn Kennedy. So it looked like they were initially snubbed for the opening of the Earthshot, but they did show up for the ceremony, and they got their nice photo ops that they were hoping to get. There's William with Biden. Mr. Biden asked, "Where's your top coat?" And they had a little chit chat. There was a report that went around that there was some booing, and that protesters shouted in the background, "F the royal family," that Joe Biden is a scab. Others shouted, "Let's go, Brandon." I haven't actually seen any video to prove this. If anybody knows of any video, let me know. But I haven't seen it. This is just what was written. It's interesting because here in the UK, anyway, most people who are very hardline royalists are quite right leaning. And so it doesn't serve Kate and William's core fan base, to be honest, to meet with Joe Biden. It doesn't actually speak to their fan base for them to meet a left leaning American president. But I don't know if the Cambridges even know what they're doing anymore. It's like they're just trying to, chase whatever, that glow that Harry and Meghan have. But you're not going to get that just by, standing next to President Biden, especially if it rubs your own fan base the wrong way. But yeah, William did get to meet Mr. Biden, and a lot of people noticed the coldness between the Cambridges. I'm not going to show the video footage, but there are two pieces of video footage. One where he basically moves her to the side, and then the other one where she goes to grab his hand, and he basically pulls his hand away. Like that whole, remember that Melania Trump flip when they were getting off the plane? What was interesting, if you go online, is the number of people who were non-squaddies, who were commenting about this. And so I think that people are catching on that there is something seriously wrong here. I'll go to your comments before we continue. I saw Kate's dress shine as a pepperoni pizza. Yeah, literally the first thing I thought when I saw the dress was, oh my god, the internet's gonna have fun with the green screen. Yeah, for Lauren Brown, it made me think of green screen. The other strange thing about Earthshot, let me just go to sorry, I think one of my files hasn't loaded. Where is it now? Where is it now? Okay, that's annoying. It hasn't loaded, so I'm just gonna explain instead. They flew out all of these celebrities. You had Chloe and Hailey. You had the guy that played um is it Reem Malik? And I think maybe Ellie Goulding. So you had quite a few celebrities that came out. However, in order to reduce the carbon footprint, all the finalists were filmed on their home turf, joining the ceremony via a live video feed. I didn't know this because I didn't watch the ceremony. So the finalists actually had to join via video, while the celebrities flew to the event. And their explanation for this was to reduce the carbon footprint. Wouldn't you have just had the whole ceremony via video then? What was the point? The point was that this had nothing to do with the environment and everything to do with just promoting themselves. And so, respect to the actual, finalists and people who are, doing good work and trying to find solutions for climate change. But unfortunately, I feel that their work may not reach the audience that it should, because it's not actually about them and their work. This was all about William and Kate and the firm getting to have this big glitzy event. Right, give me 1 second, folks, because I've realized why my slides are not loading. So I just need 2 seconds to make it work. Okay, I'll put the music on for a sec. And we're back. Okay. Now I've managed to get them to work. Okay, so here are the pictures. That's Chloe and Hailey there. And as someone pointed out, as somebody posted this on Twitter and said, they can say whatever they want about Harry and Meghan, but Invictus has never been treated like a music awards movie premiere. The focus are the veterans and their families, and that has always been very clear. 100%. I can't actually think. Well, this past Invictus games anyway. Like, did they have any major celebrities? Or I know in the past, they've had performances and all that stuff. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. When you do get celebrities involved, it gets your eyes. It gets eyes on your event. So it's not a bad thing to have celebrities involved, but it seems like the celebrities were the center of this award show and not the scientists, environmentalists whose projects that we should be focusing on, to the point where they themselves were not even invited. So what was the point of having all these celebrities come, but the people who matter, they didn't come? Please make it make sense. Yes, Judge Nelly, this is what the trip was about, photo ops. Adrian, I think it was out of respect to meet with the president. Yeah, I mean they still have to be, politically neutral. They're not squaddies, so I don't expect any disrespect from them in that regard. I'm sure they feel their own ways privately, but publicly they still have to have a certain level of decorum and diplomacy. So I'm just gonna scroll through your comments before we continue. Joyce, they paid the entertainers and the winners were not there. Shameful. Like Side, you said they wanted to look important, so they gathered random people to show it's a facade. Indeed. Did anybody actually watch it? I didn't watch it. So I didn't even know that the finalists weren't there until I saw this come up. V Thomas, oh my god, that's horrible. Just goes to show these two were there for clouts. Yes. John Hickey, huge waste of money. Joyce, the winner should have been there if the entertainers weren't. But it's the fact that they're saying that the winners weren't there to reduce the carbon footprint, but we're okay with the carbon footprint of these glitzy stars. Make it make sense. Gail Lewis, that says everything. Bring celebrities, but leave the recipients at home. That screams a vanity project for glamour and clout. Indeed. Phoebe, you said, how much did this cost the taxpayers on both sides of the Atlantic? Yes. And one of Kimora Lee Simmons' daughters posted this. She said, please, why did Meghan Markle's in-laws think a bunch of traffic and roadblocks at Harvard during finals would win over some young minds for the monarchy? Wow. And there was this article, I think is this that font looks like the New York Times. Bostonians take on the royals' whirlwind visit. Whatever. As breathless online commentary tracked the royal couple's every move during their visit, swaths of their host city remained unimpressed. And I think this gentleman pretty much summed it up.
I know you guys have played in front of a lot of celebrities, but what was it like to compete in front of royalty tonight? The Prince and Princess of Wales were in the building.
It was just a regular game to me.
I know you guys have played in front of a lot of celebrities, but what was it like to compete in front of royalty tonight? The Prince and Princess of Wales were in the building.
It was just a regular game to me.
I do definitely feel there's been a change in the winds this week, and it begs the question, where does the monarchy go from here? Where do Kate and William go from here? People who aren't even in squad circles or on these royal internet streets are starting to notice that there's something wrong. Something's up here. I struggle to imagine if they were going to go on any type of tour next, where they would go, what they would do, especially after this document. I mean, we don't know what's going to be said in the documentary, but if any bombshell claims do come out, where do they go next and how would they be received? Because I do think that this American tour has set the tone. So if they weren't well received in the US, I don't see that they'll be well received anywhere else. And the Caribbean tour was a disaster. And what purpose do these tours now even serve? Because clearly people aren't dazzled. Wales Online decided to throw some shade and posted this. They said when Harry and Meghan first came to Wales. So Harry and Meghan are apparently very welcome in Wales, but the other royals, well, you had Charles literally getting egged. And Peter Brooks for the Times did this cartoon, harpooned by beach umbrellas, the fractured relationship of Harry and Meghan and William and Kate. So you have Harry and Meghan on top of William there, who appears to be a whale. And then, I don't know if you can see it, but in the very back, you've got Kate lying on the floor, and the cartoonist chose to put a bottle of wine and a wine glass next to her. Yeah, that's Peter Brooks for the Times. To your comments. Oh my gosh, trolls, go away. So many of them in the chat. Thank you so much, mods. Joyce, she's right. It's finals week in the US colleges. I mean, they did pull in a few crowds, like small. I wouldn't even call them crowds. A few collective huddles of people. It wasn't exactly crowds. Some people did come out to see them, but let's be honest, they would have wanted those same scenes of Harry and Meghan on that balcony at the Fiji tour, at the Oceania tour. That's what they were looking for. They wanted this to be the so-called Super Bowl tour, and it just did not turn into that. Thanks so much for the super sticker, Legs. You said, I don't know why Biden would come for diplomacy. He literally had the excuse of a state visit with Macron. Also, the protesters came with signs too. Interesting. Well, I think they're very aware of optics, and if Biden had not come to meet them, and it wasn't even a long meeting, mind you, it was just a handshake and some photos, I think people would have maybe read into that. But like I said, most of William and Kate's fan base generally veer more to the right. So even from the perspective of their own brand, it doesn't really make sense for them to meet with President Biden. I don't think that Kate and William really know who or what it is that they're trying to be. They've had 20 years to figure it out. They didn't work, and now they're just trying to be something they're not. Harry and Meghan. Linda Lala, you said if the carbon footprint is the point of the prize, the event should have been on Zoom. Now that would impress people more, yeah. We literally had 2 years of working over Zoom. So why not do it on Zoom? Deloman, next stop, Australia. Yeah, I guess they're... Yeah, where else would they go? Where else would they go? I mean, when's the lot? Did they go to Australia before? Or was that New Zealand? I remember they went to New Zealand, and this was right after they had George. So they had the cute little baby to dazzle everyone. So yeah, I guess Australia might be an option, but Anne went to Australia and nobody paid attention. So are they going to spend more taxpayer money to send Kate and William to go to Australia when Anne went there quite recently? Maggie, they have no tours because it's the holidays, and that is the newest excuse for staying indoors and letting all the bad press go away. Yeah, well, can they continue to do all these tours, which don't really serve a purpose anymore, while claiming to be environmental activists? Make it make sense. Latoya, I heard the women on The View were talking about Meghan and the docu trailer. Yes, some of them were being nasty. And I don't know, The View, they tend to flip flop, and sometimes they defend Meghan, sometimes they don't. Ultimately, I still believe even when they do defend her, a lot of those women are jealous. Right side, you said the clock is ticking for both the Daily Felt and the Monarchy. This is the beginning of the end. Yes, I agree with that so much. I think that the wins have really changed this week. Something in the winds has really changed. Mary Cat Boston should send the royal family a bill. I agree. Joyce, the hype on the ship was so big, and that was the problem. Super Bowl, really? Yeah. Chosen to be his. Things will fall in line for them when they come clean concerning Harry and Meghan. And have I not said this on this podcast before? The truth will set them free. The truth will set them free. The truth is ugly, and it will make them look ugly. But I mean, they're looking pretty ugly now. Just come clean. Because you know what? Even if they came out and talked about all of the nasty things they did, people are so easily swayed that they could easily just turn it around and go on one big PR apologizing tour, and their fan base would still forgive them. So you might as well just air your own sins, because they're about to get aired anyway. So you're either going to control the narrative or have your laundry aired out for you. That's the choice they have now. Seems like they're hanging on for dear life. Julia Rock, I hope they stay out of Canada. Well, given that they copy everything Harry and Meghan do, Invictus is going to be in Canada. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went there. All right, just check. Did I have anything else? No, I didn't have anything else. So we'll just end with your comments. Petition to bring back Tom Cruise, please. A man who, for all of his Scientology shenanigans, still knows how to be a gentleman. Lottie, so who paid for this trip? Good question. I'm waiting for the Daily Mail to do their usual rundown of costs of everything. With the red labels. Please give us red labels and tell us how much all of this costs. How much of my taxpayer money was wasted. Then you said, never know I would say this, but I think William is in a state of mourning for his brother. He's just so sad, even at the biggest event. Yes, he can be evil too, but he just don't know what to do next. Do you mean mourning that he's lost the relationship with his brother? Well, Harry would have been his biggest ally. Harry would have been the one to help guide him along with Meghan, but he chose the crown. And having said that, Harry also said that they can't leave. I don't know how much I believe that, but then we're not behind those palace walls day in and day out. But I still just think if William had not betrayed his brother, things would look very different now. He chose the crown. Janet, you said, I don't watch The View anymore. They are very disrespectful and disgusting. I guess it depends. They just sway, I guess, depending on what the producers are, screaming in their ears. Right, Shirley, the Queen is gone. There are no nice people left as working royals. And there's no one, I think, that people have the level of respect for that they had for the Queen. No matter our opinions about her, people did respect her. People did see her as this figure of stability. And now that you've got a king that throws tantrums because his pen is leaking, that mystique is gone. Yes, Valerie, there are strikes. Royal Mail, nurses, university, all of it. I fully acknowledge the level of privilege that I have to be able to start building a life elsewhere, but things are looking very bad in the UK right now. But yes, there's lots of strikes. For those of you that don't live here, Valerie is right. And I think also the barristers are striking. Lauren Brown, Tom Cruise was a better husband to Kate at that event. Exactly. And do you know what? You could tell that for him, it was just instinctive. There's a lady there. Let me grab her hand. But you got William looking, he's actually looking past Tom, trying to fix his collar. Like, bro, your wife is right there. Right there. All right, let's wrap this up. Who's going to get the last word of the day? I don't think that I will do a podcast tomorrow, by the way, because I've got the mystery thing that I'm doing in the morning, and then it's an 8-hour coach ride all the way back. So by the time I get back, it'll be so late at night. But we will have a podcast on Monday. It'll be an earlier podcast because obviously Mondays I go to classes. Lauren, you said, I think Kate could be a good wife to Tom. She's used to living under strict rules and to have to put on a smile and not liking a seemingly unloving husband. True that. But I don't think that Kate could survive Scientology. Scientology is a different kind of crazy. Like, listen, I know that the Royal Institution is its own type of crazy, but Scientology is a completely different type of crazy. At least the Royal Institution comes with a certain veneer of glamour, even if it's fake. Scientology is just crazy, and there's no glamour there. I mean, you've got to hang around with David Miscavige, who apparently still has his wife under lockdown. The woman hasn't been seen for years. We don't even know if she's still alive. So that's a whole different type of crazy that I don't think Catherine would like. Andrea, you said, let's be truthful. All the tours have been self-promotions as they know they are not so popular and they are heirs to the throne. Unfortunately, they are not very interesting and she does nothing. Well, they had 20 years to do something. Quinny, I don't understand why these two African American young ladies met with the two fools. Yeah, I don't understand why Chloe and Hailey met them either. Like, they've got so much going for them, and their brand is not Kate and William. So I don't understand this. I don't understand what's going on with their management. I mean, these are Beyonce's proteges, mind you. All right, everyone, let's wrap it up. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you, probably on Monday. Is Baron on now? I haven't checked the time. So I think Baron is on. So let's all go over to Baron, okay? Ciao.
I used to spend my evenings by myself, you know. Went through every number on my telephone. I thought that all I needed was someone to hold, but I was wrong. I never thought that maybe I needed a friend. You have always been there together till the end. I thought that all I needed was someone to hold, but I was wrong. Falling in love ended in disaster. No such thing as happily ever after love. such thing as happily ever after. Love ended in disaster, disaster. But now I'm free. You show me that I don't need somebody. I only need myself, now it's just me. I'm gonna be free, be free. I'm free. You show me that I don't need somebody. I only need myself, now it's just me. I'm gonna be free, be free. But now I'm free. You show me that I don't need somebody. I only need myself, now it's just me.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.